Hello, my friends, and welcome to the True. I'm Robert Wallace. This is a place where we ask, am I choosing the way of Jesus, or am I choosing my own way? Still looking at the gospel of peace. Today we're going to be looking at fitted with peace. Actually, in Ephesians 6, verse 15, Paul writes, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. You know, too often we think about our footwear, but then we don't think about our footwear. And it's real interesting. None of us would go out to dig a hole in the yard with a pair of sandals or tennis shoes on. Now, we'd want to have boots, something substantial to help protect the bottom of our feet. The Roman soldier was equipped with boots, and these boots evolved over time as they went through battles and they learned that they needed something that would give them sure footing when they were in battle. So the boots would have evolved, and the equipment's gotten heavier, the boots have gotten stronger. And as I think about that, I also think about, cleats. I played a little bit of football. I certainly played baseball. And different turfs call for different types of cleats. Even on AstroTurf today, the player might go out with one pair of cleats on, and then all of a sudden you see the running back or a wide receiver changing their shoes on the sideline after they've made a turn and they lost their footing. So they wanted something with more substantial cleats on it. Well, what does it mean to be fitted with peace? First of all, it's defined by God. Humanity's definition, we've talked about this before, humanity's definition of peace is the absence of conflict. And this type of definition is very well based on the situation in the moment. It's very temporary. But God's peace stands fast in every action. John chapter 14, verse 27, Jesus says, peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. The hard truth is that Jesus had just told the disciples, as I mentioned yesterday, that he was going to suffer and die, be buried, and then resurrected on the third day. So their hearts were definitely troubled. I encourage you to read all of John chapter 13 and chapter 14 when you have time. We also have the benefit of hindsight, right? We know what these disciples were facing because of these accounts by John, and yet in the moment, we would be troubled as well. Next, we need to understand that God's peace is knowing that his peace is with us and it is not temporary. God has eternal plans for us. He made us for a purpose. Also, we need to remember the enemy wants us to be defeated. The enemy wants us to see peace as a temporary thing. The good news of peace is Jesus is our peace. Romans chapter 10, verse 13. Everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. He's quoting Joel chapter 2, verse 32 here, where Joel writes, and everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. For on Mount Zion and in Jerusalem there will be deliverance, as the Lord has said, even among the survivors whom the Lord calls. And then Luke also quoted Joel in Acts chapter 2, verse 21, where he said, and everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. This is very important for us to get our hearts and minds wrapped around. Everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. Doesn't matter what their past, doesn't matter what they've gone through, they will be saved and they will receive the peace of Jesus Christ. We also need to understand that peace is rooted in the cross of Christ. It's not based on our efforts. It's not in our ability to avoid conflict. And it's certainly not in our ability to engage in conflict properly. Think about these things today. Are my shoes fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of Jesus Christ? I'm praying for us as we carefully consider these passages. Let's invite the Holy Spirit to give us eyes to see and ears to hear God's truth from His Word. Let's have receptive hearts and minds to receive these truths, and then let's ask the Father for the same boldness, commitment, and courage of Jesus to go out today and do what the Holy Spirit is leading us to do. And we'll have a follow-up to all this, but let me ask the question, are my shoes fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel? I pray you'll have a wonderful day, my friends. Go in the peace of God. Blessings to you. Bye for now.